Welcome to Getting Out of Grad School Intact. My name is Mikan, and I'm your friendly graduate school tour guide. In this final episode of the series, we will discuss a few things no one tells you about or prepares you for, starting with what grad school demands of your time. Grad school is very demanding and it is very time consuming. You must prepare yourself to issue the following statement throughout your time in graduate school. I am sorry, but I cannot go to insert name of event here. Your social time is limited to the weeks between the semesters unless you're working on your thesis or dissertation, and then your downtime is when you are asleep. You do not realize until you are deep in how much graduate school consumes your free time. Speaking of time, let's discuss timing out. The most dangerous period of your degree, as we've mentioned before, happens after comps when you're working on your thesis. The vast majority of stopouts happen when a student is working on their thesis or dissertation. It is easy to feel disconnected and distracted at this point and struggle to complete. It is important to know the rules on stopping out, as unlike undergraduate classes, graduate classes expire. Depending on the degree you are seeking, this can be anywhere from 6 to 8 years, so check the catalog. Once you time out, you're out. Some schools may offer extensions, but those rarely exceed 1 year. If you have found yourself in need of a break, work with your advisor to figure out how much to take off before your classes start to expire. Now let's talk about transfer hours. If you started a program somewhere else and ended up changing your mind and elect to go to another school or program, you need to check on the transfer eligibility of your courses. Most schools and some programs, depending on the change in degree, only allow you to transfer in 6 hours. A few allow for more, but most cap the transfer at 6. This is all dependent on if the coursework falls within the expiration timeline. Next, let's discuss financial aid. Graduate assistantships of some sort, there is little by way of financial aid for graduate students except for loans. Here are some important tips regarding financial aid. Apply for all the things, no matter how small. Learn what the requirements are to receive funding, as this changes based on the type of assistance you receive. Most scholarships and graduate assistantships require you to be enrolled in at least 6 hours. NCAA regulations for student athletes is 9 hours, and loans to qualify, you have to be enrolled at least 5 credit hours. Requirements change every so often, so check the aid office and see what the current requirements are. Now let's discuss some of the different types of loans. The first is federal and the second is private. Federal loans fall into two categories, subsidized and unsubsidized. The amount you are awarded is determined by the school and is based on your financial needs. While you are enrolled and for 6 months after you graduate or leave school, the federal government pays the interest on the loan. There is a cap on how much money you can borrow per year and over your lifetime. Currently, that amount is $150,000. Private loans are different. These loans are held by a lending agency or a bank. The interest is built into the loan and is not paid for you while you're in school. Some private loans allow you to defer the payments while you are enrolled, but not all of them do. The interest rate also tends to be higher on private loans when compared to federal loans. Private loans do not qualify for any of the federal loan like direct consolidation or public service loan forgiveness. Meet with one of your financial aid counselors at the schools if you plan on taking out loans to discuss all of your options and consider your pros and cons. Another thing to know about loans is federal loans in particular do not like it when you deviate from your program's degree plan. If you do, make sure that you ask for course substitutions if your university allows for this, or else you may be paying out of pocket. The last thing you need to know is how to budget your course time. To this, I have seen several students who've gotten down to their final semester and only lack one class of 3 hours, and your loans will not cover it if it is less than 5. So work with your program director to ensure that you're able to utilize all of your financial aid benefits. The next thing we're going to discuss is the importance of knowing the mountain. Know which mountain you are willing to die on. Higher education is a small world, and often your instructors will be used as a reference. I have had students come to talk to me at all stages of the degree with various concerns and issues with their instructor, research chair, and or committee member. I allow them the safe space to vent and then advise them to think long and hard on the following question. Is this the mountain you are willing to die on? Often the answer is no. This too is a lesson for you as a student. If you know better, you do better. This is the graduate student equivalent of I am never going to be my mom or dad. Next thing we're going to discuss is the importance of getting involved. Graduate school, especially for those who live on campus or have moved away from home to attend school, can be isolating. Get involved and build a community. Most universities have student events just for graduate students and often for international and graduate students combined. Want to really get involved? Join the university's Graduate Student Council. Often, this group is involved in organizing social events such as the beginning of the year mixer, Friendsgiving, and game nights. They also host professional development events such as resume workshops, financial awareness, and grant writing. At some universities, the Graduate Student Council is a representative body for all things, and the president will often have a seat on the graduate council representing graduate students' concerns and interests. Building a community helps graduate school feel less isolating and provides you with people who understand the rigors and demands placed on graduate students. To this day, I am still friends with many people I met in graduate school. Next, we're going to discuss the imposter you see in the mirror. This is called syndrome. Imposter syndrome is described as a condition where the individual is plagued by thoughts of self doubt and being a fraud. Imposter syndrome is a very real problem that plagues almost every single graduate student. You are not alone in feeling as if you are faking it and you do not belong. Those people who look like they're shit straight are struggling as well. Do not let their cool, controlled demeanor fool you. I am not sure when exactly or even if we manage to shake free of this syndrome. I will let you know when mine releases me, as I still feel its presence every time I sit down to write anything. When I start to find myself falling into its trap, I try to name it. In my theory, it is like Rumpelstiltskin. If you can name it, you can own it, and the power it has over you diminishes a little. It's a similar concept to Stuart Smiley's mantra: you are smart enough, you are capable. Get into graduate school on a fluke. Is this an oversimplification? Absolutely. I'm simply allowing you to know that it is a real thing and you are not alone in feeling this way. Make friends with members of your cohort, create a special group where you can get together to vent, share ideas, and drink if that's your thing. It will help you know that you are not alone. I have frequently worked with students trapped in the imposter's mirror. Often, this is caused by our comparing ourselves to someone else, where they are and what they are doing, and how we view ourselves or themselves as being more successful. They are not, I promise. Their rules and their journey are not yours. It was not meant for you. And if you're trying to measure yourself using somebody else's gauge, you will fail, just like they would fail if they were to use yours. When I work with students who are trying to understand this, I have them come see me. I give them a little one for the Gipper pep talk, and then I slide them a black Sharpie and a wooden ruler. I tell them to write their name on the back of the ruler and to keep it on their desk. It serves as a visual reminder whenever they see themselves find themselves using someone else's ruler to measure the success where they are. Most importantly, you've got this. Good luck, and we'll see you on the other side.